Very difficult. with
Why?
a lot with a lot of work. As I told you, my principal has a kind of of sick in the brain in her brain
Oh,
that makes that their eyes have some movement has a uh, move with any different size. It's called nystagmus, something like that,
hmm.
and he's
So,
outside of the school.
oh, so now you have taken her or his place?
Yes, I have in charge of the school.
Ah, well, yes. And for how long? You don't know?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe for a long time.
Okay,
I
okay.
don't know because it's dangerous because she's driving or uh, he's making something. Uh, she could be feel dizzy and maybe
Mm,
she can have an accident,
yes.
and that's a big problem.
Well, so sorry to hear that. But yes, I can
Yeah,
imagine that it's been
yes,
difficult
but
for
yes, but I'm fine.
you. Good, Oscar. And you, Emiliano, everything fine?
Yes,
Fine, most of it.
yes, I have the flu, but I fine.
No, why? But did you? What do you think, guys, about I forgot how do you say that even in Spanish? Vacuums. How what do you feel about this campaign of the vacunación? You agree with that? I don't like to do that. I think that I feel more ill, more sick when I have that kind of vaccine. Sorry, vaccines.
What things?
So I don't. I prefer not to vaccinate. Okay, so today's topic is how do you define yourselves? Okay, so keep in mind these questions. What do you consider to be your strengths or your weaknesses? Are there such things as weaknesses, or are they just opportunities? How have you changed over time? Are you comfortable with you the way you are right now? Do you feel more empowered? Do you feel more stronger? How were you when you were a kid or a teenager? Or do you consider that you have remained like some sort of the same? Okay, so keep those questions in mind. We're going to watch a video about this woman. This is a very famous video. It's about this woman that is called Velasquez. It's very famous in TED Talks, in this platform of TED Talks. And well, I didn't know if to. I was doubting if to show it to you or not because you can think that it is something related to this topic that is not always well perceived, that is called personal growth. Um, so yes, it's kind of that kind of video of personal growth, but in my opinion, well, I decided to put it anyway because in my opinion, this woman isn't just telling stories, her stories about herself. I mean, everybody, we do that, right? We tell our stories. We perceive the world a certain way, and well, there are times when I don't know how to say that, we are very creative about our stories, and we make big things or of small things, or or not. But in this case, as you are about to see, you can, you can, okay, so she's going to tell us her story, but even though we don't know her, we know for sure that she is not lying. She's not making up her story, because she has a disease that is a very weird and strange disease. Let me change. Let's go to YouTube. So she has a very strange disease, and at the beginning of the video, she says that only 2 people in the world have that disease. Okay, so she can't grow any muscle. She's very tiny, and she's all bones, as you are about to see. She's all bones. So she has suffered from bullying since ever. Just a second. So here it is. So by just looking at her, we can figure out that she's not making up stories, that she has had it tough, really tough. In this case, because of her appearance. Okay, so it's a kind of long video. It's about 6 minutes long. So let's start.
I had to deal with bullying a lot, but as I said, I was raised very normally. So when I started kindergarten, I had absolutely no idea that I looked different. No clue. I couldn't see that I looked different from other kids. I think of it kind of as a big slap of reality for a 5-year-old, because I went into school first day decked out in Pocahontas gear. I was ready. I went in with my backpack that looked like a turtle shell because it was bigger than me. And I walked up to the little girl, I smiled at her. She looked up at me like I was a monster, like I was the scariest thing she'd ever seen in her life. My first reaction was, she is really rude. I am a fun kid and she's the one missing out. So I'll just go over here and play with blocks or boys. I thought the day was gonna get better, and unfortunately it didn't. The day kind of got worse and worse, and a lot of people just wanted to have absolutely nothing to do with me, and I couldn't understand why. Why? What did I do? I didn't do anything to them. In my mind, I was still a really cool kid. So I had to go home and ask my parents, what's wrong with me? What did I do? Why don't they like me? And they sat me down and they said, Lizzie, the only thing that's different about you is that you're smaller than the other kids. You have this syndrome, but it's not gonna define who you are. They said, go to school, pick your head up, smile, continue to be yourself, and people will see that you're just like them. And so that's what I did. I want you to think and ask yourself this in your head right now. What defines you? Who are you? Is it where you come from? Is it your background? Is it your friends? What is it? What defines who you are as a person? It's taken me a very long time to figure out what defines me. For so long, I thought what defined me was my outer appearance. I thought that my little tiny legs and my little arms and my little face was ugly. I thought it was disgusting. I hated when I would wake up in the morning and I was going to middle school and looking in the mirror, getting ready and thinking, can I just scrub this syndrome off? It would make my life so much easier if I could just scrub it off. I could look like the other kids. I wouldn't have to buy clothes that had Dora the Explorer on it. I wouldn't have to buy stuff that was bedazzled when I was trying to be like the cool kids. I would wish and pray and hope and do whatever I could to pray that I would wake up in the morning and I would be different and I wouldn't have to deal with these struggles. It's what I wanted every single day, and every single day I was disappointed. I have an amazing, amazing support system around me who never pity me, who are there to pick me up if I'm sad, who are there to laugh with me during the good times. And they taught me that even though I have this syndrome, even though things are hard, I can't let that define me. My life was put into my hands, just like your lives are put into yours. You are the person in the front seat of your car. You are the one who decides whether your car goes down a bad path or a good path. You are the one that decides what defines you. Now, let me tell you, it could be really easy to, really hard to figure out what defines you. Because there are times where I would just get so annoyed and frustrated, and I don't care what defines me. When I was in high school, I found a video, unfortunately, that somebody posted of me, labeling me the world's ugliest woman. There were over 4 million views to this video, 8 seconds long, no sound, thousands of comments. People saying, Lizzie, please, please just do a world a favor, put a gun to your head and kill yourself. Think about that. If people told you that, strangers told you this. I cried my eyes out, of course, and I was ready to kind of fight back, and something kind of clicked in my head, and I thought, I'm just going to leave it alone. I kind of started realizing that my life is in my hands. I could either choose to make this really good, or I can choose to make this really bad. I could either be grateful and open my eyes and realize the things that I do have and make those the things that define me. I can't see out of one eye, but I can see out of the other. I might get sick a lot, but I have really nice hair. Thanks. You guys are like the best little section right here. I lose my train of thought. Okay, where was I? Oh, hair. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I could either choose to be happy, or I could choose to kind of be upset with what I have and still kind of complain about it. But then I started realizing, am I gonna let the people who called me a monster define me? Am I gonna let the people who said kill it with fire define me? No. I'm gonna let my goals and my success and my accomplishments be the things that define me, not my outer appearance, not the fact that I'm visually impaired, not the fact that I have this syndrome that nobody knows what it is. So I told myself I'm gonna work my butt off and do whatever I could to make myself better, because in my mind, the best way that I could get back at all those people who made fun of me, who teased me, who called me ugly, who called me a monster, was to make myself better and to show them, you know what? Tell me those negative things, I'm gonna turn them around and I'm gonna use them as a ladder to climb up to my goals. That's what I did. I told myself I wanted to be a motivational speaker, I want to write a book, graduate college, have my own family, my own career. 8 years later, I'm standing in front of you, still doing motivational speaking. First thing, I accomplished it. I wanted to write a book. In a couple weeks, I will be submitting the manuscript for my 3rd book. I wanted to graduate college, and I just finished college. I'm getting a degree. I'm getting a degree in communication studies from Texas State University in San Marcos, and I have a minor in English. I really tried to use real life experience while I was getting my degree, and my professors were not having it. But I wanted to have, lastly, my own family and my own career, and the family part is kind of down the line. My career part, I feel like I'm really doing well with it, considering the fact that when I decided I wanted to be a motivational speaker, I went home, I sat in front of my laptop, went to Google, typed in how to be a motivational speaker. I'm not even joking. I worked my butt off. I used the people who were telling me that I couldn't do this to motivate me. I used their negativity to light my fire to keep going. Use that. Use that. Use that negativity that you have in your life to make yourself better, because I guarantee you, you will win. Now, I want to end with asking you again. I want you to leave here and ask yourself what defines you. But remember, brave starts here. Thank you.
Okay, so, but sorry, it was a little bit long video, but some of the questions out there, I found them interesting. So let's go back to the presentation just a second. Have you seen it? Are you familiar with that video or not?
No.
No, I have never seen that. I have never heard about that girl.
I remember seeing the video. She mentions the video, the 8 second video, the 8 second long video. No, the 8 second long video where everybody was mocking at her and saying that she was a monster. I remember seeing that in Facebook. Okay, so again, what defines you? Who are you? Is it where you come from? Is it where you come from? What defines you? For instance, we Mexicans, does that define us? The fact that we are Mexicans? For instance, in my case, coming and having being born in Chiapas, does that define me? Am I just Mexican and Chiapaneca, or is it your background, your past? Is it your friends, your family, your relationships, the people around you, the people you hang out with, the people you care about? Do they define you? Is it your skills and talent, your work, what you do, your studies? Even though your studies, even though if right now you're not working in what you studied for, is it what you like and don't like? Is it what you do or don't do? Is it your looks? What is it? Is it everything and more? Or are there things that are more important than others? What do you think?
It's a, it's a, it's a, it's a philosophy question. Something like that. I, I, I didn't talk about this one for a long time because it's a good time for thinking about. um, yes, because I think that for example, in my case, what defines me, I think it's everything. It's one part. It's just part of your life. For example, in my case, I was thinking in this moment when I start. In what moment I decide to be a teacher, and I think that was the first time when I start from the students, and I start to teach them, and I feel that I am and I was good for that, and I feel that, and I say this is my way. This thing is the thing that I want to do uh, at this moment and for a long time. And I think that's the part of define me. And I think that it was part of my own life. For example, from my mom, because from my dad. From I think that's define me because my mom always talk about the importance to study. She always said that the only thing that she left us to me and my brothers, it will be the a career, the our studies, and that's the fine in a part. And the other part, I think that and that's the funny because I think I am a, a responsible person, a lot of responsible, and maybe some talents and some studies I have done for a long time, but I think my family defines me too. As I told you the last uh, the last class, I don't have a lot of friends, but I think that I have that is a good relationship with them. I have a good relationship with them, Um, I think that's all.
Yes, yes, it's kind of the last question, the last class question. What makes us human, right?
Yeah,
It's kind of the same thing. Yes, right. What makes you you? Who are
yeah.
you?
And that moment in my life, that defines me as a person, as a father, as a husband. I have a different roles in my life, and each part of this, on each part of my life,
Mhm.
defines me in different ways, as a father, as a teacher, as a husband, as a
Do you
son.
find do you find it sometimes like a contradictory, Oscar, or not? Is it just the way? Is it just that we are very complex and very diverse, and we are like very wide, no, como amplios to accept
Yeah, I I,
different.
I think I am I am the same person in each part of my life.
Mhm,
For example, as a teacher, I try to be funny with my students, and I try to teach them the responsibility of different things that I try today, will be a good students or a good citizens. And in my case as a husband, I try to do the same. I'm funny, but I try to be a responsible husband, and as a father, I try to teach them to my. I am funny with my kids, and I try to teach them the responsibility
mhm,
in different ways.
mhm.
And of course, it's a complex.
Yes, I was asking you that, but because yes, since there are too many Oscars and too many Emilianos and Larisas, I don't know. Sometimes it can happen that you feel like not congruent or contradictory. Well, that happens to me. So that was, but you know what? Now I don't give it importance. I mean, I am fine. I accept myself. Even though if an hour ago I was thinking A and now I am thinking B, and maybe in an hour I am going to think C, I am fine with that, with those changes. I mean, I don't feel bad about myself. And I used to feel bad about myself. I felt like not congruent, and I felt like contradictory, and I feel like not secure of who I was. But now I am very, very tolerant
I
with changes.
yeah, I think that maybe you are in contradictory when you don't feel well what the things that you are making. For
You're right.
example, when I decide to be a teacher for a whole time, I I feel that contradictory because I I I was between to decide continue my career or left my career and to be a teacher for com- for time for all the time. And that time I felt that contradictory, but at the end when I decided to be to leave the university and continue as a teacher, I feel good, I feel well. And I told later, if I decide to continue with my career, maybe I didn't feel good, or I didn't feel happy.
Mhm,
And that moment I feel contradictory.
mhm. Yes, I agree with you. If you feel fine, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Emiliano, why are you so quiet?
Mm. No, well, I think that everything defines us. Um, but it's funny when the people ask to us, "Who are you?" Most of the time, we answer with what we do at this moment. Who are you? I'm a teacher, maybe. Who are you? I'm a, I don't know, a account man, account
Mhm,
man,
A
but
Godin.
yes, but I think it's everything, our background, our relationships, uh, the place we live, the place we grow,
Mhm,
because everything transforming in experience and how we perceive the things, how we feel about it, uh, how we think in the future. But well, that's make me remember something about I don't know. It's it's not a theory, but it's a propose of what we do. What we do. It's a no for the present self is for the future, but in the sense of what the future me wants to remember. And
mhm,
we do the things we do for the remembering self and not
mhm,
for the present self. And maybe that it's interesting for me, but
mhm,
how we behave in some ways, what we want to remember in the future.
mhm,
And it's that the experience we have in the past make us maybe take some decisions. And I don't know, I think everything defines us, but
yeah.
I think the most important is our background.
Mhm,
And yes, I think it's that maybe the relationships, I
mhm,
don't know, I don't think our relationships can define us too much, but maybe I don't know, I think depends on what kind of relationship and the strongest with our I don't know, daily life.
mhm. Well, interesting. Yes, interesting the thing that you mentioned. Yes, how do we usually we tend to think in our lives like in a line, and they are not right. Yes, we go forward and backwards, and it's complex.
Mhm.
It's not a line. It's not a straight line at all. Um,
Yes.
okay, so more questions or related to the
Mhm.
same topic. What about your strengths or weaknesses? Are there such things as
Those
weakness or
those
not?
answers remember me the interview question for employees.
Yes, you're right.
Uh,
What are your strengths? What are your
Yeah,
weaknesses?
how do you say that?
mm.
SWOT? SWOT. I think in English it's SWOT. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and SWOT. And what?
I
Uh,
don't know, but uh, most of the time they don't use weakness. They use áreas de oportunidad,
oh,
opportunity
you're right.
areas.
You're right. Yes.
Mhm.
But
But
I don't know.
yes, yes. Yes, you're right. They usually begin interviews asking you that, right? What do you
Yes,
think are your strengths and your yes and your ¿qué áreas de oportunidad?
yes.
What about this? Do you think there are such things as weaknesses, or they are just opportunities, opportunity areas or opportunity fields?
Mm,
How have you changed? How have you changed
I
over?
prefer use weakness in, instead of opportunities. We can't we can't improve everything in ourselves.
Mhm.
There will be always
Oh,
a
you can.
weakness.
You said you
No,
can.
you can't. Just can't.
Okay.
Cannot.
Mhm.
It's I don't know. I think it's impossible improve everything in our lives in ourselves. Yeah, it's impossible.
Yes.
There always be a part you can't control, you can't
Yes, you're right.
improve it, and it's fine. I think it's fine.
Even if you want to, right? Even if you are
Yes, it
improving.
maybe it's something automatic, and it's not bad. It's good.
Mhm.
Yes, you're right. But Well, yes, I agree with you. But I was questioning myself if there are really, if we could call them actually weaknesses, because if we don't give them that importance, well, maybe at the beginning, if we are interested in changing something, maybe we can consider it a weakness. And as you said, we can't control everything, and probably we don't see any future. Well, not that we don't see any future, but we try and we work on that weakness, and we realize that yes, that we better change our focus, because maybe we are wasting our time somehow. But if you then decide to change your focus, it is still a weakness or not, because you have changed your focus and it is not important to you anymore. So could it be considered a weakness still, or
We can
not?
call them the way I am.
I agree with you, Emiliano. Yeah, that's the
But
way it is,
I
or that's
think
the way it is.
it's important to keep the our feet on the earth and
Mm-hmm.
remember that we are not perfect, and maybe it's important keep in mind that we maybe can have a weakness, something that we can do perfect, but yes, it's the way I am, and
You're right.
I
it's good, but we need to keep in mind that
Mhm.
there is
I
something we can.
I think I agree with you. Of course, we are not perfect, but now I am thinking about, for example, our strengths. It depends the moment of our life. For example, now that we are have to to take some decisions in my school,
Mhm.
some of my strengths are going to be now and weaknesses,
Mhm.
and I have to to um, to change that weaknesses and strengths. For example, if I have to make a decision, I have to think about it, and I have to analyze of the different points, and I have to make a decision, because
Mhm.
that now that is or was my function on my school, and now I have to take
Mhm.
that decisions. And I think in each part of life, some strengths could be a weaknesses, or some weaknesses could be in strengths. And the point is that if we uh, pass that weaknesses or strengths, we are improving, or we are going to improve
Mhm.
ourselves, improve our abilities, or improve our decisions, or improve our life. And
Mhm.
we are discovered that uh, maybe maybe we think that we don't have a weaknesses, and we are in a situation in our life. We discover that we have a
Mhm.
weaknesses, or
Mhm.
we discover that we say, "Oh my God, I don't think that we have that fear about that," or something like that. I think that is a opportunity to
Mhm.
change
Mhm.
our life and make a different decisions. And of course, um, if we have an error, or we have a mistake, that's the important. And if we learn about mistakes, I think that's the point of the life.
Mhm. Yes, we have to practice and exercise.
Yes.
um, would you like to share something that you consider a strength about you, or a weakness, or you prefer not to?
uh, Share where are our weaknesses.
Yes, with
Yeah.
us.
I in this moment, I think that one of my weaknesses at this moment is, as I told you, maybe stay in charge of my school for a long time. Even because when we start work in the second time in the secondary school,
Mhm.
of course, my principal is my friend. We start together, and um, she and me, we don't have to be the principal. She didn't want, and neither
Mm,
me,
mm,
and we decided, I don't know how to say, tail in a volado.
mm.
We decided in a volado who wants to be the principal, because we start the school, and she lost,
She
and she
lost.
have to, yeah, she have to be the principal. But
Okay.
maybe some decisions during this time maybe about this 13 or 14 years, we all the time um, we take decisions together. Some decisions we share our decisions to make some things, and at this moment I have to take
Mhm,
that decisions uh, with myself.
mm,
With myself, because all the time we talk about, what are you going to do with this student, we are going to do with this situation, and we share, and we have a solution
mhm.
for that thing. And this moment I have to to take those decisions. I think this is one of my weaknesses in this moment of my life.
Thank you, Oscar, for sharing a little bit of your intimacy with us. Yes, because it can be
and,
hard
and 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 another one, uh, it's when we decide with my wife to be
to become parents.
parents, yes. we 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 decide, and was and is one of my witnesses. Think some
What do you,
about, if we are doing well, if we are care very well of our kids, and educated, and in a good way. That's one of my witnesses.
what, like to question yourself, like to doubt about yourself, or
About myself, being parents and being father.
um, okay.
I
Don't
think
be,
that's
don't
that
be,
too.
don't be so tough with you, Oscar. I don't
I
think that.
think yes, and I think I do it well.
You, Emiliano, would you like to share something that you really like about you with us?
Mm, maybe my weaknesses.
Okay.
I think when I always overthink most of the things to, I don't know, maybe everything I overthink about it. And
Overthink.
I, yes, overthink in the, I don't know, my work, when I was a student, when I talk on English, I overthink, and I don't know, I complain about how to say it. I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I take a test, if I don't think, it's what's in the part of grammar. If I don't think I know the answer, but when I stop me and say, oh, maybe it's not that the answer, but at the end it is, but I overthink too much.
Mm-hmm.
And other could be, I think in my work, attention to detail. Maybe it's, how can I say it? Atención al detalle.
Attention to details, did you say, or what? Or what?
Yes, yes, because most of the time that uh, I've been problems with that because I don't put too much attention
Uh-huh.
to the details. Um, I don't know about other. In this moment, I remember
Mhm, mhm.
that.
Okay. What about the last two questions? Is there anything about your personality or some feature or characteristic or trait that you have noticed that has changed dramatically with time? And well, yes, basically that. Do you like yourself more now than before? Well, I assume you do, but I don't know. Do you feel like more empowered today now that you have, of course, more experience in life because you're older?
Yeah. Yeah, I am like more um more than myself than before because as I told you, I think I have experienced different parts of my life as person because now when I have my kids, I think that it's completely different for me,
Mm-hmm.
and and I think that I have to responsibility, a big responsibility about them, but uh, I change my feelings and the point of view about different things. For example, about my students, I start thinking about them, how 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 their parents didn't care, how
Mm-hmm.
the parents didn't care, and and that's and that's important because some of the parents didn't care their sons, and I can't imagine how that is possible. How can be that possible? Because I told uh, with them, and I realized that maybe their parents didn't care about their sons, and that's a different point of view that I have now with my students, and I didn't realize about that.
Until you became a father.
Yes, yes.
Emiliano, any comments or not? Should we continue?
Um, I I don't think something changed in me. No, I think it's not. Maybe it's more obvious now, but I think I am the same.
Okay, basically the same.
Yes,
Just taller.
yes,
Okay. I just put this. Are you familiar with this character, Oscar Emiliano, Dr. Seuss? The cat.
Yes, I
yes,
haven't ever seen, but I know because my wife talked about him or her. I don't know what is.
I assume it's a him
Okay.
how it's pronounced.
or not.
Doctor
I don't know.
Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. Well, this is the cat in the hat. This is the character, the cat in
Yes.
the hat, and Dr. Seuss is the writer or the creative behind several characters, such as the Grinch, Cat in the Hat,
Lorax.
the
Laura.
Lorax. Yes. So I just put here some quotes about him because this one, the first one, fits today's topic. Today you are you. Today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. um. Okay, so to end today's class, yes. Does defining us or other people puts limit? Well, in the case of defining us, does that limit us? Or does it like condemn us or predetermine us? Or on the opposite, does it empower us by being aware of who you are and or who you're not? What do you think?
I think I don't know. eh, Since I think that question when I was in high school, and you ask yourself, "Who are you?" Uh, it's a very complex question because as I said a few minutes ago, um, we are what we do,
Mhm.
we are what we live, we are what we did. Who are we if I stop to doing what I doing at this time? I stop to be the same person. I don't know. And I think in that question is very complex to me.
Mhm.
And first of all, I think I should answer the question, and maybe I couldn't. Maybe I will be 80 or 90
When
years
you
old
find
and I
out.
can't find the answer. So
Mhm.
Yes,
I think it's
probably.
very difficult to answer that because
Yes,
at the time I could say
yes. I
I'm
agree.
a employee, and if I stop to do that, who I am.
Yes, you're
Uh,
right.
it's
Yes,
it's
I
complex to me.
I totally agree with you. That's why I was telling you at the beginning of the class that sometimes in the past, especially in the past, I felt like insecure because I had so many doubts about because the month before I used to do something or think in a certain way, and 1 month later, my thinking and my actions were not totally different, but different. So that made me question a lot about myself and think that I was, I don't know, like kind of wrong, that I should like be stable, like I should like compromise with something, compromise with my feelings and my thoughts. And now, as I told you, I think like I'm very tolerant. I don't give so much importance to my own words, less to other people's words. um, I think because I share what you just said. I mean, we are very complex, so I don't see why is it wrong to change to be or to think about certain way in a certain moment, and then in another one have a completely, well, not completely, but different opinion or position or perception. We are very wide, I think. Somos muy amplios. We're too wide
Yeah.
to be
Mm.
defined. Um, okay. Nothing more to say. Oh, last,
Um,
yes,
Yes.
I have a last one. Yes. Uh, uh, well, we have covered this, I think, somehow. What you or others say about you define you. Yes, we have covered this, right? But what about the last question? What other people think of how you are usually matches what you
But
think about you or not? Has that happened to you that some people say to you, oh, you're very, I don't know, jealous, or you're very, for instance, Emiliano, you're an overthinker, you said, no?
mhm.
And yes, and you agree with them. Or on the opposite, a person might actually think that because you are overthinking in your way, by you, and maybe you don't talk too much, and maybe one people or certain person can perceive you as someone who is not interested in, who's not interesting, who's not interested in what the other people is saying or is expressing, and opposite to that, you are overthinking, you are over analyzing that. I don't know, am I clear? Does that usually happen to you, that people think that you coincide with, your definition about you coincides with what other people thinks about you?
no.
Yeah.
Yes.
For example, I was reading this one, Lone Wolf, someone who prefers his own company.
Mhm.
In my case, for a long time, I prefer my own company for a long
Mhm.
time, and does not like socializing. That's that my wife say. You are an ermitaño. You don't want to talk about anybody, and that's one of the part of my life.
Mhm.
When I go with a family or meeting, I didn't talk with anybody, just with my my father-in-law
Mhm.
sometimes, and
Mhm.
I stay with my kid. And we can also say a lone bird. Yes, that I define. I think that's a good definition for me.
A lone wolf.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm, yes,
I'm looking at this here. I didn't know, for instance, this idiom was new for me. The one that I put here before, a wallflower. Have you heard of that?
Wildflower.
no.
A wallflower.
No,
I didn't know what it was until I read it. A wallflower.
has no one to dance.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
any
wildflower. That's good.
I well, even though, have you seen that movie that is called The Perks of Being a Wallflower? No?
No.
No,
It's a good one. But I have seen it, but I didn't know what was the meaning of wallflower until I was preparing.
that the movie. It's a wildflower.
Yes,
That's the
it's a
name.
movie. It's the movie about a wallflower. Well,
Oh yeah,
a kid that is considered a wallflower. Is
yeah.
is the perks of being a wallflower.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember the translation in Spanish. It's in Netflix.
Netflix.
Oh,
Okay,
that's it.
I'm going to check it.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you, Emiliano. Thank you, Oscar.
Thank
We
you. That's what I
we have just 2 classes more to go.
took it
Are
more.
you aware
Okay.
of that? Mm-hmm.
No, I don't
You,
know that.
you have around, well, almost 4 weeks to finish the whole course. If you have still exercises to complete in the platform, you have, yes, around 4 more weeks to
For my
complete.
weights, I'm going to lay with some
Oh
exercise.
no, because sorry, you're in another. Sorry, I'm confused. Sorry, you have another calendar. You have another agenda. Yes, but conversation classes. Yes, we have just 2 more weeks. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit of you with us.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Marisa.
See you next week, guys. Have a good
See
week.
you.
See
Ha-
you.
Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving. No, even though
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I'm Black Friday.
I'm Black Friday
yes,
tomorrow.
tomorrow's Black Friday. Yeah, right. Yes.
On
Yeah.
Monday is Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday. Have you ever been in a Black Friday there in the United States or not?
No,
No.
Would you like to or not?
maybe.
Maybe, right?
Yes, could be a good opportunity to buy some things.
Okay, guys. Thank
Okay.
you. Take
See you.
care.
Thank you,
See you
Larissa.
next week. Bye, Emiliano.
Bye.
Good night.
Good
Bye.
night. Bye.